the next item, Kathy, you have the minutes of October 21st.
They have them.
Has everyone read the minutes from the meeting of October 21st?
It's on Friday. But the last meeting was the 3rd.
Yes, it was, but if you hadn't talked for half an hour, they'd been done.
We're actually a week's behind on minutes. Does anyone have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Have a second?
Yeah,
Okay, to move and seconded to accept the minutes from October 21st. Roll call vote, please.
Basil,
Yes.
Bookmark.
Yes.
Jordan. Oakridge. Yes. Sabatino.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Before we get into the regular reports, we have a special letter that Mayor Pugh is going to read from Aqua, and Mayor Pugh, go ahead.
This letter was dated November 12th. I received it on the 15th. And it's from Aqua, and it says, Dear Mayor Pugh and Clairsville City Council, after the recent tabling of the asset purchase agreement for the purchase of the water and sewer system, as well as the results of the election, we wanted to follow up with Aqua's perspective regarding our commitment to the city and helping you explore options to address your system's non-compliance with the high EPA expectations. From the onset, we have taken the position that we are here to assist the city in addressing the severe issues being faced in both your drinking water and wastewater systems. We are confident that Aqua offers the best option for the city and its residents. In response to the city's request for a qualification of proposal, Aqua demonstrated both the technical and financial resources to address the city's issues, that the proposals reflect a fair purchase price for the systems given their condition, and that we commit to millions of dollars of capital spending needed for sustainable and affordable future. With that being said, we have no objections to the City Council deferring the final vote to approve or reject the asset purchase agreement until the new administration and council has had an opportunity to more fully evaluate the water and wastewater system issues along with the options they wish to explore. Aqua is willing to extend the current offer through April 6, 2020. After that, we will need to respectfully rescind our offers. We continue to believe we can be a valuable resource to solve the city's outstanding issues and create a sustainable future for these operations. We are confident that the community and the elected officials will ultimately recognize our offer as an opportunity for positive transformation for St. Clairsville. We also recognize that some parties feel they need more time to evaluate the situations and options for resolution. This extension is an attempt to honor that request. Sincerely, Edmund P. Kokalski, President and Chief Operating Officer, Aqua Ohio, Incorporated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So this will be addressed later. There will obviously let the law director address this when we get to the legislation. Next thing, also it's not actually on the agenda until later, but I wanted to clarify a few things. as you'll notice under new business, there's a entry for possible election for the fourth ward vacant council position. We started out actually with 5 people. One of the applicants has decided to withdraw. A second applicant who expressed his interest in the position after some issues came up questioning the possibility of his being able to run for that office because he actually applied late. He is no longer going to be considered for that position. I discussed it with him, and he also agreed. We were all in, talked to the council people, talked to everybody, and he did not want to create an issue that might show maybe something that was improper in him being interviewed and possibly hired. So those 2 people have been removed from consideration for the fourth ward position. Both of them were very good people, but this is the situation that everybody felt was in the best interest of the city and the people and the council itself. So there will be, that will be addressed, the election process will be addressed at the end of the meeting, and we'll see what goes from there. Under citizens' hearings, we kind of got a little bit of a snafu on some of this. There were a couple of people that had requested to speak. There is, in the past, people that just sent emails up stating that they wanted to speak, and the city council meeting basically is actually to conduct city business. It's not like a town hall meeting where people get up and just ask a bunch of questions at random and everybody tries to answer those questions as best they can. So in order, because it is technically a business meeting, that's why people have to be put on the agenda first. There's not a lot of requirements on it, but they do have to be submitted in writing what the issue is before they can be put on the agenda. There were several people that did ask to be placed on the agenda. There was a little bit of a mix-up. People apparently were not aware that was the forms that they had to fill out prior to Friday at 4:30 to be on the agenda. And by accident, instead of them being, when they sent their letters in asking to speak, the forms were supposed to be sent back to the people so that they knew what was going to transpire. With a computer glitch, instead of them getting the forms, they got the 32-page copies of the city's charter. So that's why nobody has been placed on the citizens hearing list. Actually, there was, I think there was 3 of the people here tonight. There was a 4th one, Mayor-elect Paulman, but she is sick tonight, so normally we would not allow anybody to speak without being on the agenda, but since it was kind of a snafu that the 3 people that are here that had originally requested was Pat Halloran, Terra, and Gabriel Phillip. So if any of those people still want to speak about something, as long as we'll give you a couple of minutes to speak, provided it's pertaining to city business or in general for something that the city might have to take action on or request anything, and please be polite and courteous. And like I tried to state at the last meeting, we want to try and get these meetings back to where everything is courteous, everything is polite, and we have no conflicts between personalities. So does anyone have anything that they still would like to speak about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm sure it comes as no
Speak.
surprise, but I'll be brief. And I'll be courteous, and I won't laugh in your face as you speak, so,
Before you speak,
yeah.
please state your name and the address where you live for everybody that doesn't know you. And briefly, what you are speaking about.
Well, you can look up my address if you want me to speak what my address is. I will happily do it after all of you give your addresses, but rest assured, I do reside in the city limits of St. Clairsville.
No.
I didn't have much to say here tonight anyway. I'm sure all of you are aware I'm quite active on the city's Facebook page, and I have shared all of my opinions about this situation. I am very glad to hear that Aqua Ohio has taken the discretion to wait until next year to hear what we have to say about this. But I'm gonna give you a couple facts about Aqua Ohio, which is what I came here to speak about tonight. Aqua Ohio has 183 notice of violations with the Ohio EPA.
Excuse me. Anything to do with Aqua is going to be addressed after the first of the year, and
That's
there will
fine.
be.
Like I said, I just have a few things to say and then I'll leave. How about that?
And when people have already spoke their opinions of Aqua, good, bad, and indifferent, and that technically is a repeat. I don't want to cut
Oh, I
anybody
understand that.
off.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I'm going to give you facts that you can
Well,
verify for
this is
yourself
something
on the
that the city
EPA's
will have to
website.
look up, so-
183 notice of violations.
I'm going to have to cut you off.
A
That's-
28-year-old utility worker died in
Please.
2016
I
in a
do want to have
trench
to, I do
collapse.
not want to have to ask you.
For the
later.
I will leave. I'm telling you, I will leave. I want you guys to take this with you. I want to make sure that this is on the record before I leave tonight. A 28-year-old utility worker died in a trench collapse. The
we've heard-
second
this
of
is-
Aqua Ohio's
this has all been
employees to
done
die.
before. Jeff, would you
All right,
start her out,
thank
please?
you. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you, sir.
I apologize to everyone here this evening. The issues with Aqua have been discussed on the floor. There's been a lot of pros and cons. And again, since there's no action going to be taken until after the new administration and the council gets a chance to look through everything, get analysis on everything, and do more research, and at that time they'll make a decision whether or not they feel that possibly to keep it or to sell it will be made at that time. And I don't like banging the gavel on anybody, but to just rehash things and get to a point where it becomes discourteous is not what we need to do to get business accomplished in the council meeting. And again, I apologize to everybody. Okay, the next, did you have anything you wanted to say? You were originally one of the people that, if you just, again, step to the podium, state your name and what you're going to speak about. And
My name's Terra Butler, and I just wanted to respectfully thank you for the opportunity to run for council for 4th Ward. I've spoken to many of you, and you were gracious to let me interview. And I'm excited, I'm looking forward to this, and I really hope that, that I get the opportunity to sit at your table. That's really all.
thank you.
Thank you.
The other person that got a copy of the charter is Pat Howard. Pat, do you have something you want to say?
I'm good. I'll just take 30 seconds of Jim Zuckel's time after the meeting. It's just a little something to possibly be fixed.
Okay. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll get on to the reports. Start with Mr. Zuckel, Service Director.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. I was on vacation last week, so I do not have a report tonight.
Thank you. Next on the reports is Mayor Pugh.
Tonight, I just have some reappointments to different committees of individuals that have been on the Planning Commission and the Board of Zoning Appeals that would like to serve again on it. One reappointment would be Charlie Bean, who's an attorney here in St. Clairsville, and that's to the Planning Commission. And then a reappointment of Bill Phillips, who is also a reappointment. He is a retired executive director of Bellamar Region Council. Bellamar fosters cooperation for planning development of communities and economic development with transportation projects. Bellamar has been very supportive in grants to the city in the past. So I'd like to entertain motions, if I might, on those two individuals.
Yes, please.
I'll make the motion to.
Do we have to accept them both at the same time or separately?
If Jason, it doesn't make any difference.
You're going to make a motion, Mike?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to accept both those.
Okay, is there a second? Mr. Bailey, or I'm sorry, Mr. Sabatino. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Basil,
Yes.
Bookmark,
Abstain.
Jordan, Oakridge,
Yes.
Sabatino,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay, and the second, thank you, and the second board is the Board of Zoning Appeals, and Charlie Dean is also serves on this board, and he would like reappointed again, as well as Mark Loy, who is also asking to be reappointed.
Okay, do we have a motion to reappoint those?
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we accept those two individuals.
Do we have a second? Frank said it again. Thank you, Frank.
Basil,
Yes.
Bookmark,
Abstain.
Oakridge,
Yes.
Sabatino,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you again. That's all I have.
Okay,
Thank you, Council.
thank you, Mary. Okay, the next report would be Police Chief Henry. Chief, do you have any report for this evening?
I don't have any report, but I do want to remind everybody that the Christmas parade is on Sunday at 4 o'clock. There'll be different road closures between Main, the two lights on Main will be, we're shutting that road down at 1 o'clock. And then, of course, around the school and Woodrow, you'll be closer to parade time, the start time. That's all.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for the chief? Okay, next would be Finance Director. And next report would be Planning and Zoning Administrator, Mr. Murphy.
Thanks, Jim. Just to make council aware and residents aware also, in July 2019, the Planning Commission voted that the city move forward with amending the Planning and Zoning Code. Planning and Zoning Code includes the zoning map. The commission wanted particular attention paid to the zoning map and updating it. This request by the Planning Commission grew out of the realization that much of the property owned by the St. Clairsville School District was not zoned appropriately. Many of the existing school buildings are located in an R1 low-density district, R2 medium-density residential density district, the CD corridor district, and the C1 commercial district. Although these zoning districts may, in not all cases, permit educational institutions, the setback requirements, height restrictions, and other bulk requirements are not conducive to the existing school structures or any future additions that they do plan to build. The appropriate zoning district for land use of this type and size is the Community Facilities District. The goal is to have all property in the city used for educational purposes zoned appropriately. In addition, while doing this analysis, it was also realized that many city-owned properties were not zoned as community facilities. These city-owned properties included the park, electric substation, and a small sewer plant. The proposed changes would bring them into conformance with the proper zoning district. While looking at the map, other areas that have been looked at have been the extension of the downtown district west along West Main Street to include such properties as Belmont Savings Bank, Hawkeye Pest Management, Care Funeral cremation specialist. Currently, this district on the west side borders on Butler Street. Additional areas along North and South Sugar Street, Carter, and the North and South Marietta Street, Carter, that have been used commercially will be looked at for downtown or commercial zoning. And there is a 4-acre parcel owned by the city along St. Clair Street, and the idea of maybe looking at that as an office and institution district to allow for it to be developed will be looked at also. Now, this meeting, this public hearing will not take place until before the Planning Commission until February 3rd at 6 p.m., so there is time. If anybody does have questions, you can feel free to contact me, whether it's council members or residents, just to discuss that. These are all proposals. That doesn't mean they're necessarily all going to be approved. So, but any questions, feel free to ask.
Anyone have any questions? Mr. Murphy? Okay, thanks, Tom.
Safety's this Thursday. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, we'll move on now to the council committees. Finance Committee, Mr. Smith.
No report.
Okay. Utility Commission, Mr. Sabatino.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Brookmeyer, you have a police
No
report?
report.
Okay, thank you. Nothing new on the streets, on the north side, south side,
Nothing on south side.
nothing on south side. Making my job easier. The safety meeting will be this Thursday at the city garage, 9 o'clock. It was always very worthwhile for the employees and any of the council people that wish to attend. The meeting is at the city garage on Reservoir Road at 9 o'clock. Having been past safety chairman and attended a lot of the meetings, they're very interesting, very worthwhile. And if you get a chance, it would be really good to just kind of see what kind of safety training and things that the employees are getting. Okay, next would be Building and Grounds, Mr. Basil.
I'm no report tonight.
Mike, Planning Commission.
I have no report.
No report. Frank, Fire District.
Fire District, regular meeting Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, the 20th at 3 o'clock at the main station. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Okay, Linda Jordan is sick. I talked to her earlier, and she regrets not being able to be here, so there's no report for the rec report for the Park District. Okay, we'll move on to ordinances and resolutions. Mr. Myser.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. This evening, we have 4 pieces of legislation to discuss. The first one is 2019-28. This is a resolution that's going to come before council tonight on its second reading. This is the resolution approving the partnership between the city of St. Clairsville and the Belmont County Soil and Water Conservation District. Tom Murphy gave you a report and his recommendation on this at our last council meeting. We only have 5 council members in attendance tonight, so we cannot suspend the rules and pass this tonight. He does, however, have, since we don't have the necessary 6 members, we can't pass it tonight and cannot take any additional action on it. The second resolution that we have is number 2019-29. This is the resolution authorizing the participation of the city of St. Clairsville with ODOT to contract for road salt purchasing. And there is emergency language in this particular ordinance, and there is language declaring this to be an emergency. However, once again, we do not have 6 council members, so we cannot suspend the rules and pass it tonight. Are we going to need an emergency meeting on this, or we'll do it at the next meeting?
We have salt, this is just additional, we're okay.
Okay. The next 2 pieces of legislation that we have are up. They've already been read on their third reading. This is ordinance number 2019-25, and I'm going to take them both together, 2019-25 and 2019-26. 25 is the resolution authorizing the contract with Aqua Ohio for the purchase of our water system, and 26 is the ordinance authorizing the contract with Aqua Ohio for our wastewater system. In light of the letter that the mayor read to council tonight that came from Aqua, and in light of the fact that we do not have a full council tonight, and in light of the fact that we have a new administration coming into office at the beginning of the year, I am going to recommend to council tonight that these two ordinances be tabled and that no further action be taken, no further vote be taken on these two ordinances until at least April the 6th. That's the time that is reflected in the letter that Aqua is asking for action either on or before April the 6th. And I'm going to recommend that council table any further action on these ordinances tonight. I don't know that we will be going into executive session. We're not planning on it. We could, if we needed to go into executive session to discuss the election of a council member, although I don't have any recommendation to go into executive session. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay. Read 28, 29.
Resolution number 2019-28, a resolution approving a partnership between the City of St. Clairsville, Ohio, and the Belmont County Soil and Water Conservation District on its second reading. Also on its second reading is resolution number 2019-29, a resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT contract 018-20 for road salt and declaring an emergency.
Okay, thanks. Okay, that takes care of the second readings on 2019-28 and 2019-29. That brings us to the ordinances 2019-25, 2019-26. Does anyone wish to make a motion in reference to Mr. Myser's suggestion to table the vote on the sale? Mr. Basil makes a motion to table. Second. Deb?
Basil?
Yes.
Bookmeyer?
Yes.
Oakridge?
Yes.
Sabatino?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes. Okay, it's been moved, seconded, and passed that the sale of the Aqua to Aqua on the water and sewage system is tabled until further action after the first of the year by April 6th. Okay, that brings us to new business, the election of a fourth ward council person. Does anyone have a motion they want to make?
I do. I'd like to make a motion to nominate Terra Butler to the vacant fourth ward city council seat.
Okay, thank you. Any second? Second. Mike Smith.
The light on here. Okay.
It's been moved and seconded.
Basil?
Yes.
Bookmeyer?
Yes.
Oakridge?
Yes.
Sabatino?
Abstain.
Smith?
Yes. Okay, it's 4 votes for, 1 abstention. We now have a new council person, Terra Butler. Okay, that's the end of the business for today. Next meeting will be Monday, December 2nd, 7:30 here in the city building. And I want to thank everybody for coming.
Congratulations, Terra.
We can, if you wish, would be good to make. Yes, yes, I have an oath ready for state legislature.
We can do this.
You want to do that?
Yes, I think that.
Tara, you ready to be sorted?
I'm sorry.
All right, Tara, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will uphold the Charter and all of the laws and the ordinances of the City of St. Clairsville, and that you will faithfully and honestly and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the councilperson for the City of St. Clairsville during your continuance in office? Do you so swear?
Yes, sir, I do.
Congratulations.
Okay, so we have a motion to adjourn?
I don't know about that. We'll have to ask. And I will.
Adjourn. Thank everybody for coming.
Huh? I didn't say anything, huh?
Nothing, I'm not saying nothing.
About what?
Well, let's see, what we got. That's all right, I'll go through here.
Coming back next.
You can't get all these messages from somebody I haven't seen.
I know this is not, this is not, this is one person. No. Horrible for all this time. I thought they did. I don't have it.
Well, you get a statement.
No, not for you.
What do you want me to do? What do you want her to say?
How are you?
It's not just, it has nothing to do with this. It's really some person's page. Yeah.
So she represents,
Every precinct has, every board has 2 precincts except precinct 1.